Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Be Unspecified podcast. We are in a brand new studio today, Street Sign Studio 7 down here in Alexandria, Minnesota. Brand new. This is this is it. I mean, this is what it looks like. Take a good peek.
This is excellent. I can't say how cool this is because the viewers can't see, but we're literally looking out one of the main roads in town.
I mean, we get a beautiful view. I mean, if somebody walks in, there's like some doors right here where you can wave hi to them and stuff.
For sure.
So that's what we got going on here right now. So I mean, obviously you could still see that. That's the banner down there. That's a classic banner. So let's kick it off. We got our guest here, Micah Walswick.
Hi.
Yep.
Hello, YouTube land.
There he is. And Spotify. If I can ever figure out how to get that on there, hopefully.
Spotify.
Someone might be listening.
We love
on Spotify.
Spotify.
Unless there's technical difficulties again, but that's Spotify for you. So.
Nature of how it goes.
Naturally. So let's just dive right in here. Let's talk about.
Go ahead.
Talk about bowling.
Yeah.
We'll zone in on bowling a little bit. Let's give a little background. You and I have been bowling around a little bit. I'd say middle school. You probably approached me to do a league with you. I'd say, and we've been doing. Well, this is the man that got me into bowling. Really, I mean, this is the man I give credit for there. And we've probably just been we've been bowling ever since. I'd say a good couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. Go watch the bowling content on the Unspecified Show.
There's some good stuff there.
There's a lot of great stuff that you can watch. And so I think it was 8th grade. So this was about almost 4.5 years ago.
4.5 years ago. Holy time flies. Our
local bowling center does a weekly. Well, at the time they did on Wednesdays, where it was a bowling league. You go. You pay $5 a week, and it's a great way to get kids involved in the sport. And so I'd go in, I'd pay $5, and I don't know. I thought at the time I was just like, I'm not really doing any sort of any other sports. I mean, I just joined cross country, so it's just like, maybe I want to try something else even. So I went in. I think I tried it. I don't know if it was before I even started the league where I got my first ball, per se.
First of many. How many do you have right now, Mike? Do you know that grand total?
So,
because I think we're in double digits.
First, fair warning, is a lot of the bowling equipment I've got, I actually haven't paid for myself. A lot of them came from entering ball raffles, and I just got lucky.
Yeah, didn't you? But we're two balls in the same raffle.
Actually, for instance, we're bowling 2 hours away from here, and I won. I think it was 3 in one day, and I gave one to Miles.
Oh my gosh! What was that? Is that the pitch purple?
Miles has a ball called the pitch purple.
The pitch purple,
which at the time I had no necessary want for it, so it's just like, hey, you bowled with me today. Why don't you have one too?
Because why not? I mean, you have so many.
I'll trade them in and I'll get more. So it was definitely cool. And it was at the time where I was just I was really into it. I was bowling maybe 3 to 4 times a week. I was bowling tournaments on the weekends. And bowling is a very Sunday sport. So a lot of my Sundays were spent either commuting, or I was doing some sort of 6 game block, and now we bowl 9 games on any given Sunday for typical tournaments now these days for youth. And so I definitely would say freshman year I was definitely really into it. I would bowl a lot. And then kind of sophomore year and into junior year I got pretty busy with a lot of it, so I wasn't in as much. But then when I joined the bowling team junior year, that's when I really started to bowl way up more often, and I would be doing a lot more actually team bowling than bowling individually. So that was really cool. Moment was being able to spend a lot of time with my friends who I met through doing the sport, and also meeting people around the country, which I'm sure if we'll get into that, we can get into. All right,
might as well take it off here.
All right, so last year was the first time where I actually got to compete in a national tournament. So
nationally,
so there was
across the nation.
There was 1,300 bowlers in this tournament in Detroit, Michigan. So I was in Detroit for 7, 8, or not. I think it was 8 days. 8 days.
It's a lot longer than when you want to be in Detroit for.
Well,
no offense to Detroit.
No offense to Detroit, but we're in a suburb of about 100,000 people in a town called Canton, Michigan, which is where we're kind of staying in a hotel. It was a great hotel. Great hotel in Canton, and we were about 40 minutes or half an hour away from.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Because there's four different centers, because you have 1,300 kids that are partaking in just the U18 division.
I think
there's
the Midwest youth is like what we have 200 to 300 kids that bowl that. So I mean 1,300. That's like
it's a
5 times.
It's a shock that it's like, you meet all these people from around the country. I was on a pair with another kid from Virginia who I actually still see his content. He does a lot of bowling content too, and I see it a lot. And then you meet guys from California, Montana, just kind of all over the country. It was just really cool because you get to see it maybe from a town perspective. Honestly, you just see a couple youth bowlers, but now you see all these different youth bowlers from around the country. And honestly, you're just bowling with your squad, so you don't get to see all 1,300 because they're spread out through 4 different centers across 4 different days.
You can't fit that many people in there.
You run different shift times where you're either bowling at 4:30 in the afternoon, and then you have the 7 a.m. grinder shift at
7 a.m.
That was at Thunderbolt Lanes.
Did you have to do a 7 a.m.?
Yeah, everyone has to do 7 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
7 a.m. So I was up probably 4:30
in the morning.
Yeah, around 4:35.
Oh my gosh!
Because you got to get ready. Because every tournament you have to be there in slack pants. You have to be in your jersey.
Yep.
You have to get there, which is another 30 minutes.
Felt like my arm probably would have fallen off.
I have to
just taking a sleep.
And then have my miles free latte to get me through it.
Little product placement for you there.
Yeah. I had to throw in the plug.
Well, stop on down to Deja.
Stop on down.
Get the Miles Free, the Unspecified Show collection of drinks there. I think Micah's rocking that Miles Free latte.
Yeah.
I got that Miles
100%.
Free drink there too.
Yeah.
Little product placement thrown in there.
If you love pink sprinkles.
Oh my gosh, we're big stumbling on the words. The big pink sprinkles guy.
Yes. Enunciation.
Yep. No, we got it. We can get it there. So, Mike, how many balls do you have?
I have.
If you know off the top of your head.
Well, the problem is
bowling balls.
I changed weights beginning of 2024. So I went from throwing 14 to 15.
Jeez.
So
that's a big jump.
So I probably sit 12, 13 in total.
Balls?
Funny thing is, one of the kids I met at Junior Gold, he had 22 on the flight.
Oh my gosh.
Brought 22, and you can only use, and for perspective, you can only use 5 for the duration of the tournament. And these are all documented on which balls you're throwing per day.
Yeah.
So you can only throw the 5 you have. The 5 you check in at the beginning.
He brought 22. I mean, the math's out there.
Oh yeah, because you have 3 days of practice.
Oh my
so
gosh.
It's you have 40 minutes and 3 days of practice. So then you have 40 minutes per center you're bowling in. So you get 40 minutes to kind of learn the center, and you can move around and kind of see what each pair of lanes is like. And I like to say bowling is like golf. So you need different clubs and. It's actually, when you see those people that walk out in the lane and they fall over,
Yeah.
Yes, there's lane oil out there, Miles.
Oh, there's lane oil out there.
There's lane oil
Oh
out
my
there.
gosh. Isn't that a discovery for some people out there?
Yeah, so, when you see these people on the internet that
walk off the lane.
Yeah,
Woo.
they're falling over.
Oh.
This lane oil, which I like to say is just the golf course, because you gotta know where the sand trap is, you gotta know where the water is.
Sand trap would be the gutter in bowling, I'd say. You get stuck in that,
too.
Pretty hard to get out of.
Yeah, and you gotta know how long the hole is, especially too in golf. So that's what I like to compare it to for people who have no idea the science behind it.
There's a lot more to think about than just throwing a ball down a lane.
Right, and that's what me and you especially learned when we started out was, man, there's a lot more to this game that we're gonna have to get understanding.
There's a whole new world, and when you unlock that, you really unlock a new set of skills, and you're able to have more fun with the game then too, because you're thinking about it a little bit, like you're making adjustments, you're improving. Like again, that's a good comparison to golf too. I mean, this club isn't working today. Let's change it up to a 9-iron. I mean, let's kind of change it up a little bit, learn,
for
adapt,
sure.
grow. So the Midwest Youth, Micah. Now you and I have been bowling that for, gosh, would that be 4 years now?
Yeah. So when we started bowling Midwest Youth, it was a big shock to us because we had no idea that there was this many people that actually bowl.
Gosh. Yeah,
we had no idea
memories,
that youth bowlers drive 8 hours to come for a weekend tournament, and they like to compete for. And you might be wondering, do people just come and just bowl? No, there's actually a lot of scholarship money that we've learned.
There's a hefty amount of scholarship money involved.
There's a decent amount. So all the money that we win through doing tournaments goes into what they call a smart account, which is basically just like future college savings and stuff can go on there. And Miles and I have actually been very fortunate. We have a couple $1,000 actually
very fortunate
saved in that smart account. So
I recommend, if you're getting your kids into a sport, I don't turn your head away from bowling. I'd say there's a lot of good opportunity, and looking back on it, I really wish I was. I'm very glad and very thankful I was able to start out when I did. But I mean, if I had that opportunity to start out even sooner, like if you approached me in elementary or school or something, and be able to start just sooner, I mean, take that opportunity, because there's benefits to it for sure.
Yeah, I see the kids that are starting at such a young age, and they're learning way faster than when I started. So it's just like,
I mean, heck, your younger brother Samuel. I mean, he's catching up to me. If I don't try hard enough, he's gonna topple my average in no time.
So the cool thing is just I self-taught myself how to do it. So it's now like, it's kind of crazy to look at yourself as now a coach. You went from absolutely knowing nothing to now you're actually teaching kids how to bowl, which is crazy, and being an ambassador for the sport in many ways than just actually bowling. So just seeing my involvement through it and growing, and then seeing how I even really got my family involved in it too. It's really cool.
It's a cool thing to look at for sure. I agree, and I mean, especially just talking back to that first time being able to bowl that Midwest Youth was so it was so interesting, because I mean, you never experienced something like that before. It's hard to describe the energy that goes on in there, the dedication of some of these bowlers that they have. I mean, is so extreme. And you and I we were just rolling in there. I think you and I just rolled in there in t-shirts. Kids are walking around full on jerseys. They got sponsorships. You and I are I was wearing my Lucky Bowling t-shirt. What was that? That was a Season's Greetings from the office.
Season's Greetings office t-shirt.
Oh my gosh, I wore that thing so many times. I thought it was going to disintegrate. You couldn't even tell the graphic anymore by the time it was done.
You had no idea it said Season's Greetings. No. End of it. But it was cool, because it's like we had no idea what we were doing. There was 5 different shifts you could bowl that week, and you pay your entry fee. Like, some people would come in, they'd bowl a Friday, then they'd bowl this Friday afternoon, then they'd bowl this Saturday morning, then they'd bowl the Saturday middle of the day, and then they bowl the 4 p.m., which was the last shift that we were put in. And we didn't know what we were doing. The bowling center's packed. We don't know what to expect, and we go in there, and At that time we were in what they call as a handicap division, which doesn't mean that we're not physically able.
Yeah.
But it means that we just needed some extra pins because we could not keep up with the people.
220
we
average
could not
kids.
keep up with them. So that was crazy. And then just going from that to then we qualified for Sunday, and
that was wild. I remember being. I mean, you and I probably were both like, "Wow,
we made
we're
it."
in this."
We're like, okay.
I mean, by a long shot too. I think our scores were like we had a big leeway between. Like you were first, I was second, and then there was a big distance between third.
Right.
And
then we go. Then we have to bowl what they call the cashers round.
Oh,
and
the
that's
cashers
another.
round. That one's mean.
That's another 4 games to kind of determine step ladder placements and then match play.
Yeah, that one can really hurt. That one hurt me a lot.
It definitely can, especially because the way the tournament format is if you get the first 2 seeds, you get a bye. So it's like if you're like in the first 2, you don't bowl for like 3 hours.
Like football.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like
and then
football.
if you're 3 through 10, then you gotta climb a step ladder. You gotta climb a step ladder to be on the step ladder.
Yeah.
So it was definitely very, very stressful. But then once me and you made the 1-2 seed, a core memory will always be that like we're shocked. Like we were in, we literally had to go outside into the parking lot to kind of like. We were mesmerized.
No idea what they're doing. 2 kids just plain old T-shirts. And one bag.
We were put in the tournament because we were asked to. Yeah, like it was an opportunity presented.
Sure,
it was an opportunity presented to.
I mean, I can't imagine where we'd be bowling wise if we said no to that and never did it. I mean, it's just very, very thankful and fortunate that we were able to do that for sure. I think.
Yeah, that was definitely something that kind of boosted our interest a lot too. It's like we're excited now because we've gotten to do it every year since, and it's been, I would say after the first year, it's been completely different for me because as you improve, it's like you don't need the handicap pins anymore. Yeah, and then as you age too, it's just they push you out of the handicap zone, and then you have to bowl scratch. And you have to bowl against some really, really talented kids from.
Oh my gosh!
Many different states. So,
well, let's kind of let's take a pivot over here a little bit to how's school going? I mean, you're over at the high school. I'm over at the college here in Alexandria doing PSCO. You said I think you mentioned you're almost done to your semester end. You've almost finished a full semester over there.
Yep, we're senior year. Eclipsing the back half of the senior year.
It's getting closer. It doesn't feel. It feels weird, I mean,
it does.
I'll tell you when I first went to the high school as a freshman, I can't throughout my entire time at the high school there was always comments of, oh my gosh, I thought you were a senior, or how are you not a senior, and then you finally get to the point of being a senior and you just feel like I just feel like I'm back in that freshman grade again. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's gonna happen, but I mean it is. One day we're gonna wake up and it's gonna be done with it.
Yeah, the thing that shocked me the most was when we came into school as freshmen, teachers were wearing masks because we're on the back end of the COVID pandemic.
It was around that time.
It was one of those things where now you see it because it's like 4 years. It feels like it's gone by so fast, but then you realize it's been like it's been
fast but slow at the same time. Yeah,
it's been like one of those things where it's like. I think after sophomore year, it's just like, you start looking ahead a little bit because it's like you can start kind of seeing that it's like, there's going to be some big changes soon, and now it's even more crazy because now you see where like some of your classmates are going next year, and like they're either maybe leaving town or they're starting somewhere else and going to college, and
well, we gotta pivot to a more happier note here. Dash, you feel like we're talking that someone's about to pass away here.
The world's gonna end.
The world's about to end here. Oh my gosh! Let's get that. Okay, well, let's talk about our Deca role. You and I are in a team role play, which I gotta say I'm really excited about.
I think we're both super excited.
It's gonna for those of you who don't know, Deca is basically like what's the best business? Is that the best way to describe business?
Every time someone asks me what Deca is, I, for the life of me, really don't know how to describe it because there's so many different events.
Yeah,
there's so many different
you compete.
Different competitions.
It's very competitive.
It's pretty competitive, especially in Minnesota.
But it's going to be fun. I'm excited. We have a lot of tools, and we're coming for ICDC. So all you out there watching that may be competing against you guys better watch out. I mean, we got some tricks up our sleeve here. I mean, baby food trucks are going to come at you real fast here.
That was one of our sample role plays we did.
Baby food truck,
for sure. Yeah, we are. Yeah,
thinking next time we can do a FedEx airplane. You can do mail by air.
Those might already exist.
Really,
yeah. They might be.
It's hard to tell. I
think they're flying overhead as we speak.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh wow, I think I see one. I'm kidding. There's a ceiling.
Well, that was great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm excited
so
about it. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. We got mock kind of competition coming up here soon at the Tech, and then we're already on to St. Cloud. Was that districts?
Yep.
St. Cloud's districts. Holy, the mall. I like the St. Cloud. It'll be nice to be able to do it this year, not sick. I remember that last year I had to do it, and I was so sick. I mean, I sounded like death.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
Man, it's so hard to think back of last year what the ideas were. It was a music. It was no, that was 2 years ago. Where it was the architectural museum thing.
Oh right, yeah.
That was last year. I cannot remember for the life of me.
I remember it was was at St. Cloud. We were in that big open room, and we came up with such creative ideas, which I really liked. I mean, I noticed that when you and I work together, we have a lot of creativity.
The chemistry is there. The chemistry is there, and we also have a great charisma about both of us, where we describe stuff. We have creative ideas, and I just think ever since we did it like sophomore year, it's just we saw the potential in ourselves. So we're like, we're gonna stick to this, and obviously, junior year was difficult because in Deca you have a role play and then you have a prepared event, and our prepared event got vastly overlooked.
Yeah,
we did not have much time put in with.
There could have been time put in, but I think it was the night before, and I went, I don't think I've started it yet, and I think that's going to happen this year too.
Yeah. So the prepared event ideas aren't. Why don't you talk about your prepared event ideas? Classic.
Well, that's what's the the prepared event is what's it, professional selling?
That's what we did last year. Yes.
That's what we did. That's what I'm doing again this year. This year I'm doing professional selling.
And he's gonna try and not do what?
Do it the night before.
Well, also not put Venmo into coffee shops. Was that the idea?
Apparently, you can't do that.
You cannot do that.
Thanks for bringing that up for me, Micah. Yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice stuff. We'll talk about that here, I suppose. Why not? It is a podcast after all. Let's see. It was state Deca, and I got done with my presentation, and it was different ways you can pay and implement other options to pay, like Apple Pay, PayPal, Venmo, And Venmo was one of my options, and apparently the judge said you can't do Venmo in coffee shops.
Think that was very realistic.
Think about that one. I mean, he could have been right. I never reasoned the thing. I just kind of made it up as we went along, because all I really cared about was was our team role play. But yeah, now that was a surprising one, because he pitched it to me. He's like, "How are you able to use Venmo in coffee shops? I didn't think you were able to." And then I kind of took a big breather, because he realized, oh, dang nabbit, I'm screwed. Yeah. And then I was kind of like, well, we're gonna be the first.
We're gonna showcase the world that we can.
We believe we can do it. We'll call it Venmo. We'll tell them, hey, let's do it. We got it.
Yeah. Outsmarted them there.
Oh my gosh. And then I didn't pass on that one, because nope, I didn't like that one. I thought I saved it well, but I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't going to advance with mine. Mine was about adding glamping sites to the United States market. I did barely any research on it, so I had no idea what I was talking about. So I did not have very good credentials.
Threw some stuff out there and hoped.
And also the process of the sale is something that I just didn't quite understand back then.
Yep.
But it's okay.
I hear you. Well, let's see here. Now I think you wanted to talk about. So you've been, you were there with me, or you've been there for me when I first started the channel. I think we're coming up on the third year. Up in March, I think it would be the third year, because it's back in 22. I think I started back in 22. I'd have to look.
That was freshman year.
Ooh, but gosh, no. I mean, to look at the way we've come. I mean, you filmed some videos for me. Remember the mile in a suit one? Yeah, that one was. I remember that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it was hot.
I remember you saying, just run it in a rectangle, and if the phone shakes a little bit, it's okay, because it'll be authentic. So that was authentic. That was the only advice that was given to me, and then it was like, oh, do I spoil it for the people who haven't seen it?
Go ahead and throw it out there.
When he falls over, for those people who haven't seen it, make sure you come up to me really close, because we're going to make this so inspirational. Like, I'm going to get up, and I'm going to run to the finish.
That part was scripted a little behind the scenes. I know. It's a big reveal moment. But I think it was a very inspirational. I watch it back, and I feel moved. It's like this guy, he falls over running in a suit, he gets up and he runs across that finish line with such grace, beauty, and power.
I watched it back, I think, a little bit ago, just kind of relive it, and I just love how it was like a story with you made yourself kind of like, it was like, we went back to the oven story, where it's like, the oven is finished preheating. That was like lap 2. Yeah. Whereas like Miles was like overheating, and they said the cookies are just about done. That was lap 3.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was that was a time for sure. I was just looking at the camera there and seeing what it's doing. It's being a little silly, goofy goober over there, but I'm sure it's fine. We'll see. Either we'll have the file or we won't.
Technology is
fun, that's for sure. Yeah, but no, definitely you've come a long ways.
Seeing the start of it was super cool for me, because like,
it's cringy watching it back now. I mean, if I ever want to torture myself, I'll watch that first video.
It was honestly like one of those things where I would go to school, and it like just couple days afterwards, even it was just crazy.
I mean, it was,
everyone loved it. Everyone kept coming up and saying it was awesome.
It was insane. I'm glad. It's definitely one of the greatest decisions of my life was to fully start it and kind of go into it. And there's a lot of great content on this page that wouldn't have been able to happen without you, including this podcast video that you guys are watching right now.
But it was super cool for me, because I'll never forget this quote that you said. Because I had lived all through middle school, and I had seen Miles from perspective of wearing suits to school and then even showing up to school in the form of a Christmas tree during the holidays.
Yeah, I did do that.
And Christmas sweaters. You know, I'd seen Miles do a lot of different things, and it was a lot of cool things, and he wasn't afraid. You know, and I just remember you saying that. You know, this is a lot for me, and I never heard you say that, because it was just like, you know, I think we had gone into it like, we're ready for anything.
Yeah.
We want this to blow up. We want like people to really enjoy it, and and then just hearing you say like, this is a lot, and just knowing that like, wow, even like Miles thinks it was like,
there's a lot that goes into doing stuff like this. I mean, heck, you and I today, I mean, we had to take an extra hour to set up, well, even 2 hours too, because I kept forgetting stuff at home. I had to drive back and forth, and then figuring out like to get the space. Where, you know, where's the banner gonna go? Where's the tripod and camera gonna go? How are we gonna do the mic situation here? Like, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, for sure.
For sure, yeah. It takes a lot of commitment, and I think you were ready for it too. I think, but the thing that'll always get me is just like the ready for publicity, and it just came at you, and it's just like it was even. Wow. It even got to a point where it was just like, I didn't think it could be too much for you, but then
I mean,
just hearing you say it one day during like the middle of the day, it just like still stuck with me. That like you know. It was
an adjustment for sure.
It was a big wave and adjustment that like we didn't think it was gonna.
I mean, to go from just walking in the halls as some guy who wears a suit every now and then, to have people come up to you, like several people in the day, oh my gosh, Miles, the Unspecified Show, hey, the Unspecified Show, you know, it was definitely a big adjustment for sure, but no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's I mean, it's what keeps me going.
Yeah,
and being able to have someone come up to you like that, be like, hey, you know, it just you know, it warms my heart, and it gives me the energy I need to continue making beautiful content.
And the cool thing is you've made it into like a brand. Like I have a Miles free drink.
Isn't that
behind this wall? There's Miles free T-shirts.
There is
that you can purchase at Deja Blue House of Coffee.
Thanks, Micah. That was a beautiful product placement over here.
We have a whole banner behind us, and now it's like. It's cooler because it's like it feels like it's bigger than just videos. Like it's a whole like business corporation. Like,
gosh, well that's nice, Micah.
It's such a positive environment. Like that's something that's always like resonated with me. Is even through working with it, was just like, you know, we had so much fun. Like I just remember like episode 11. Like I just remember he texted me like, hey, you want to be in an outside video? I was like. Absolutely.
Might as well do it outside.
So if you want to go back and watch that was really cool.
That's a fun one.
It's a really cool video, and it just felt like, you know, it just started something that was just like, you know, I think it just continued to boost our friendship, and it was just really cool to see, you know, like Miles continue to be like a supportive voice to people who needed a voice, and I just think that. What has been built is just super cool, and I can't wait to see what the future looks like for the Unspecified Show, and hopefully we get to 1,000 here over the course of 2025.
I hope so too. Oh gosh, well, Ed, that's really nice of you to say, Mike. I do appreciate that, and I truly mean it when I say that I wouldn't be able to do this without you being by my side there, and being able to support me, and being there to. You know, comfort me in times where I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be able to do this or pull this off? And it's like, you know, there may be a crazy idea, or hey, I'm going to run a mile in a suit, but you're still like, all right, well, I guess we'll do it.
We'll just see how it goes. And the return from even the fans and people has been really great too for the people watching. So, I mean, yeah, I will continue to have love for the Unspecified Show no matter where it goes. So.
Thank you, Micah.
And I hope the people just see just how much miles you've put into it, and just can't wait to see what happens.
That was good. Well, I mean, I don't think I can end it any better than that. So I say we, from me to you, and Micah to you, from both of us, we appreciate you listening into the podcast, watching the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, if I ever figure that out, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please subscribe. We're on that road to 1,000 subscribers. That'd be really cool to hit there. Leave a like. That always feels nice to leave a like. If you liked the video, if you didn't, you can leave a dislike. I mean, you have free will at the end of the day. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but other than that, from me to you and Micah to you, from both of us, thank you so much for tuning in to the Unspecified podcast, and have an excellent day.